Okay, we are going to learn how to graph inequalities on our graphing calculator today. And after you finish your assignment, you can then work on page 175 in your book. That's the page I'm on right now. And you can see how the calculator is actually going to graph these. So what you want to do before you begin is make sure your y equals is all cleared out. And probably make sure your stat plot is turned off. So go to second stat plot and make sure everything is turned off. Remember, if you want to get out of a window and you can't seem to get out of it, that all you have to do is hit second and then your quit button and you'll go back to the home screen, which is really important. I'm going to work with this system of equations up here, and we will just follow the steps listed in the book and graph them. There are a few things not mentioned, so I want to make sure you know how to do them. The first thing it tells you to do is to rewrite these equations as y equal equations, because that's how your calculator needs to enter them, as y equal equations. So they have done that for us on the first one. So I'm going to enter it just like they have here, is 3 over 2 x plus 4. And if you'll notice over here, there's a bottom part of a triangle right here. Right now it's been told to graph a line, but if I want to do a greater or less than, I need to make that look like that little triangle down there. So you just hit enter and it'll keep changing until there. That's the triangle that I want. And the next one, I want the triangle to be on the top. That's a greater than triangle. And then I'm going to enter 8x minus 48, because that's what this would be if it were a y equals equation. I cannot enter x is greater than 0 equation. So what you can do is go to your window and say you want your minimum x to be 0. Actually, I think I want mine to go a little bit to the left of that and show a little bit. So I'm going to put a -5 in there for mine. And that'll make sure that I'm only on this side of x. And then I can enter a y is greater than 0 if I want to. On my y-axis, that's just going to be everything on top. So everything's going to, again, be in the first quadrant. And it kind of looks busy when I do that, so I won't do it this time, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So I've set my window to what I think might show it. You can adjust your window as needed. And I'm going to hit graph. You'll notice as the line is drawn, it's also shaded underneath. And then here comes the second line, and it is shaded where it needs to be shaded as well. So in this region, this is the region where the two sets of lines are overlapping. However, I remember that x and y have to be greater than 0. So I'm only looking at the feasible region from here to here to here to here, because this is my x-axis. So we want to be really careful about that. I'm going to go ahead and enter y is greater than 0 in here and show you how busy that makes it look. Got to do a greater than symbol. There's greater than. I'll put my 0 in there and then I'll graph it. And you can see everything above the y-axis was shaded. And maybe it doesn't look so bad to you. You know, maybe since we got the whole region in there that it looks kind of decent. But remember, we're not going clear down to here. We're stopping right here. So my feasible region is right in this area. I'm going to get rid of that y equals greater than 0 line because it messes me up. Okay. All right. So now what it tells me to do is to go to the value option under calc to find the upper left vertex and then press 0 and then press enter. So I'm going to do exactly what it says. I'm going to go to my graph. I'm going to go to this calc, which is right up here, so I have to use the second key. So I'm going to do second calc. It says to use the value, so I'm going to use value. And then it says x is flashing. It says to press 0, so I'm going to press 0, and then I'm going to press enter. And it tells me that I have a boundary at 0, 4. 0, 4, excuse me. 0, 4 is one of my boundaries. Okay? So now it says, don't do anything else on your calculator. Now it says to enter the objective function on the home screen. So I'm going to do a second quit so I can get to the home screen. And I'm actually going to type in my objective function, which is right here, 13x plus 2y. 13x plus 2, And then your y is you're going to use your alpha key. This is the y symbol. Oops, you can't see it. This is where you'll find y right here. Oh, you still can't see it. Y is right here. You have to use the alphabet key. So you're going to use the green alpha key and get alpha, y, and then you'll see y appeared in your screen. Okay, and it's there. And if you hit enter, it'll tell you what is happening at 0, 4, because that is what just happened. So I'm going to write this on a little piece of note cards. At 0, 4, I would get a value of 8 for that function. Okay, so I've done all of that. Okay, now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to use the intersect function. So I'm going to go back to graph and I'm going to use the intersect function under calc to find the upper right vertex. So I go to the home screen, and after I do that I'll go to the home screen. So I'm going to do second calc, and then I'm going to go to intersect. You guys know how to do this. And I'm trying to find this intersection up here, so I'm going to scroll up that far. I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to bring the other one up, and I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to hit enter one more time. And it says at 8, 16, that's where my other vertex of my feasible region is, at 8, 16. So now I'm going to go back to my home screen, second quit, and hit enter. And at 8, 16, I get a value of 136. Whatever this problem has to do with whatever. Okay, and then it tells me to use the 0 option of calc to find the lower right vertex. And I can only do this because my lower right vertex is at a 0, is when x is 0. So that's why I get to use this 0 function. So I am going to go to second calc. I'm going to go to 0, and I am going to find the lower right vertex. And I can see a cursor is flashing, so I'm going to try to go down towards that. It says left bound, so I'm probably going to go one more. And then I'm going to do a right bound. And then I'm going to do a guess. And I've got 6, 0 is another point in that feasible region. So now that I've got that highlighted, I'm going to go back to my home screen and I'm going to hit enter again, and I'm going to get 78. So according to this, I have a vertex here at 0, 4, a vertex at 8, 16, a vertex at 6, 0, and I also know I have a vertex at 0, 0, so I'm just going to go ahead and write that one in, and I know if I put 0 in there and 0 in there, I would get 0. So in this particular problem, I was trying to find a maximum point. So which one of these answers gives me the highest number? That'd be 136. So I would say that I had a maximum at 8, 16, and that maximum was 136. Okay, so there are some problems at the bottom of the page. I would entertain the fact that you guys would still go through these steps and do this problem again, just so you get the feel for what you're supposed to do. There's problems at the bottom of the page, and there's actually answers for these problems. So it would be great if you could find those, and then we could check them and see how you did. So finish your homework first, and then you can practice.